Hello, and welcome to The Fool and the Philosopher.
The Philosopher and the Fool.
Yeah, I'm against polygamy. Polygamy.
You're against polygamy.
Yeah. Used to be for it. Right, so here's stages, right? It's like my philosophy, how the latest thing I hear is what I'm for or against. But this time I came to the conclusion on my own, didn't read anything.
What's polygamy?
It's when you marry several people.
Ah.
Yeah.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah. I'm also against polyamory, which is where you have a relationship with multiple people.
Okay.
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
How so?
Well, I mean, it's already risky enough being married to one person. They can get angry at you and throw fits and stuff.
You don't have to be married for that.
And then, well, okay. But I mean, still, being in a relationship, like sometimes, I don't know, if people don't have a very healthy relationship, then imagine having multiple unhealthy relationships.
Why do you have to make it so negative, though? Like, well, they could be good relationships.
Yeah, it's just, I'm saying it could be dangerous.
Yeah.
Could be dangerous.
Yeah, but so could anything.
Yeah.
Like, so I've taken up calligraphy. Ooh, that could be dangerous.
It could be.
There's a pen. You could stab yourself.
Yeah.
There's ink. You could go blind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at first I wasn't against polygamy. And then
you're for it?
No, sorry. No, I'm against it now.
Oh, you're against it now.
Yeah. I used to be for it.
Why were you for it?
Because I didn't see any reason to be against it. Like, it's illegal in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea why, because I thought it's silly. Like, let people do what they want.
Mm-hmm.
In the words of Trudeau, you know, what people do in their own bedrooms is of no government, don't care.
Yep. No, our beeswax.
No government, no cry.
Yep.
Yeah. And you can still do that today. You just can't get married.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like the greatest tax evasion scheme ever, maybe, if you marry like everyone you know.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why the government doesn't want it.
Maybe. But I think it's actually because it tends to lead to these sort of power triangle things. Pyramids? It ends up with one person marrying like 50 people, and they just are like a tyrant.
Mm.
But I always thought of it as like one person's married to like, or like three people are all married to each other, like this, or like you have four people, two are married, one's married to one of them, and one's married to all of the other three or something. Like whatever combinations you want, basically.
Okay. Sounds messy.
It could be a good relationship.
Could be.
But this was quite recently, actually, that I was still for polygamy, but I wouldn't want it for myself, because I was thinking about how it's sort of like, all the time sharing would be a bit weird.
Mm.
Like, hey, can I take the wife? And they're like, no, I got a date with her this evening. And so...
Well, I never thought about it like that. Oh, no, that sounds a little strange.
Yeah, well, that's why I didn't want it for myself in some ways. And also, like, or even, I don't know, like, let's say you have, like, a harem for yourself, right? And and there's all these, and I don't know, that even, like, that's a lot of people to keep, like...
Well, that can sort of lead to the whole cult thing with the top member.
Like, you said you'd come to Little Timmy's basketball. No, you said you'd come to Bobby's pirouette classes. And actually, I'm taking wife number 3 out for the dinner. And I'm like, okay, Frank. How about wife number 2? Oh, she wants you to go to Billy's basketball practice. And it's like, but wife number 5's going with her instead. And I don't know. It sounds complicated.
Like I said, messy.
Yeah. And also... Yeah, and also there's like I think there'd be some sort of like emotional, you would feel less, maybe that's needy sounding, but you'd almost feel like less loved in a way. Like maybe you wouldn't, because maybe there'd be more love.
Yeah, more love.
So, and maybe it's needy to say you'd be less love, because you don't need to like spend time with people to love them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like
pilots, they spend tons of time away from family.
Yeah.
And
they're the most loving people you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love pilots.
Yeah.
They make the skies work.
Mm-hmm. They keep us in the air and our hopes up high.
And the boats.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the boats up high.
Yeah.
In the air.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skyrates.
So,
Pirates of the Sky.
but you're against it now. Was that your reasons?
No.
No.
That was against it for myself, but I was like, if other people want to deal with it. But it's also, like, I don't know, there's something in the emotional, investment somewhere in there where, or maybe not investment. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know, there's something like...
You don't, like, devote your time to one person who's not family is already hard enough, and then you have to have two people. It's just like, and then you like add a third, and it's just like, oh dear God, this is too much. Why can't they just do things together with me? It's just, when they want to do this one thing, then the other one doesn't want to do this. It's just so much work.
No, I'm actually a social person, so I don't actually mind spending time with people. But
I didn't say I did either.
You kind of embody it though in some ways, so but you're in burst. You like a little. You obviously like a little bit of company, or you wouldn't have me doing this, running this show and all that sort of stuff for you. Like,
yeah, sure.
Yeah, I don't even know why I keep you around. I'm doing all the work here. I should get all the funding. And
funding,
yeah.
We get zero funding.
Maybe you do.
Oh, well, that's lovely. We'll have to talk about that later.
How long has this been? 14 minutes? That's another 14,000.
How?
Oh, that'd be nice. $1 a minute would be reasonable, I think.
$1 a minute?
Yeah, that'd be very reasonable.
That'd be $60 an hour.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd take that. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't need to be paid $1,000 an hour. I'd take $1 an hour. I mean, no, I'd take $1 a minute, not $1 an hour.
$1 an hour? Okay, you got a deal. Now you're going to work for me for the rest of your life.
That's not $1 an hour. Thank you. Polygamy. Yeah. Skyrates. So yeah, so there I was in my
The Edge Chronicle books are really good, eh?
Yeah,
with their sky pirates.
Yeah, the Skyrates. I was actually going to talk about them a bit later, possibly.
Okay.
Just that's why I had them on mine, sort of.
Yeah.
But
why are you against polygamy?
Yeah, that's what I've been trying to say. But I keep
it, man.
But I keep thinking about Skyrates. Right, but no, I'm not done yet. I need your help with this.
Okay.
So there's like something about the. I don't want it for myself, but I'm okay with other people having it. That I don't think like that anymore, but I used to. And I'm wondering why I'm not okay with it for myself. And I think
I wonder why you're not okay with yourself either.
Like, would you be okay with it for yourself?
Definitely not.
Yeah, and why?
I wouldn't be okay with it with anyone.
Right. So...
Because it's messy.
Yeah, but...
And it evades taxes. It's against the law.
What if they're all lovely? Yeah, but forget the law. The law's there to serve the needs of the people, not the other way around.
No, the people are there to serve the needs of the law.
Like, Kennedy got that whole speech backwards.
What your country can do for you, you need to ask what you can do for your country?
Yeah.
That whole thing?
Yeah, he got it backwards.
Yes.
You wouldn't be But the thing is, if you do good for your country, it can do good for you.
Yeah.
But we're not...
what?
We're not commies.
We are not commies, exactly. We're capitalists.
Well, we're in Canada, so maybe we are commies.
No, we're like social capitalists.
Yeah. Actually, we're constitutional monarchists.
Yeah. I guess so.
But that's government, not economics. We're capitalists.
Yeah, we're social capitalists, though.
Or some, yeah.
We're definitely social capitalists with healthcare. Yeah. That free healthcare. Oh.
I don't know.
Everyone pays for our healthcare.
You know, it's funny. I think you told me the one thing you don't want to talk about is politics, and here you are going on about healthcare.
Very nice.
But it is politics.
Yeah. But
you didn't want to talk about politics.
I don't. I do like talking about healthcare.
But that's politics. Because policy, healthcare, it's a policy. That's all what politics is policy. Like, if we're talking about, like, actually polygamy, like, that's illegal or not, that's policy. Which side of the road you drive on is politics. We've ruined it. It's a politics podcast now.
Great.
The politician and the fool. Or the philosopher and the politician, philosopher, and fool.
I like that.
That's two P's that sound different, and then the two things that sound the same use different letters.
Yeah.
It's like, it's clever.
But I don't like it.
Yeah. But we could
Maybe if we ever get politicians on as a guest or something, then we can have them as the politician.
I don't know. It
Philosopher.
kind of ruins the flow of the name.
Yeah.
I like the name. Yeah. And so the how about the polygamous politician, the
Foolish.
patriotic philosopher, and the foolish fool?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That rolls off the tongue.
It does not. I think that you don't want it for yourself because you don't have the ability as a human. I'm not talking about, but I'm saying you don't have the ability to invest that amount of time into people.
Well, I think I could.
Yeah, but I don't think it would be good for you.
I don't know. Like, I don't have to spend time with them, do I?
Relationships are require you to spend time with people.
Yeah, but like, just take a normal relationship amount of time
Mm-hmm.
and divide it by the number of people you're married to,
Yeah,
and you're fine.
sure.
Unless they're super needy and need like.
Well, see, here's the thing. I think that if you did that, and then all of them divide their time amongst each other,
Yeah.
it'd be fine.
Yeah.
But a lot of time with, I don't know, polygamous relationships, I think it is focused towards the one.
Yeah. No, I don't think that's what it is, though. It's not the divided time. I think it's something like, like, you can't... Yeah. Okay, let's say... Yeah. Okay, I'll type video games, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can work out in real life.
Yeah.
Or you can play video games.
Yeah.
And video games become like a lesser substitute sometimes. I'm not saying always. They can be a fun thing, but they can become a substitute for feeling achievement, for feeling like you're getting stronger, for feeling like you've earned something in your life, or like
Oh no, those Dota players seem to earn quite
or like
a bit.
alcohol can be a substitute for friendship, bonding moments. All that. So if you
Where are you going?
I'm not sure if I should, but okay, let's say you were in a relationship, right? Just a normal relationship.
I don't know what that's like.
And then you break up, okay?
Don't know what that's like either.
And then you hire a prostitute
I don't think I would.
to tide you over until your next relationship.
That sounds kind of wrong.
Yeah. So, what I'm sort of trying... Yeah, because they're sort of like an emotional substitute. Like, wouldn't the... Like, you should develop feelings for the prostitute, you think, over that period until you get the next one. But then you just abandon them.
I don't think the prostitute wants you to develop feelings for her.
What if you pay them to? I don't know. I'm just...
And besides, hiring prostitutes is illegal.
Yeah, okay, but... And then if you kept them on, I guess, then while you got married, then it wouldn't be as... Maybe it wouldn't be...
Okay, why are you against polygamy?
Well, just think... No, I'm not done this point yet.
I think I'm done this point.
Well, anyways, so yeah, that's where I was. It was okay for other people,
Full philosopher and prostitute.
but not for myself, right?
Politician.
Yeah, I didn't want it for myself. Yeah, but for other people, I was like, okay, whatever. But then I was playing RimWorld the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a brother and sister
Mm-hmm.
who were both lovers
Yeah.
to a third pawn,
Yeah.
and then both of them married that other pawn,
Mm-hmm.
and then both of them
Yeah.
wanted, because, like the double beds, wanted to sleep with that pawn.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they get upset.
Mm-hmm.
But there was 3 of them,
Yeah.
and 2 of them were brother and sister.
Mm-hmm.
So I downloaded a mod that allowed you to have a bed that could hold 3 people.
Okay.
But it felt wrong. And
Yep.
also, it made them unhappy because they didn't want to share the bed with other people.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was like a brother and sister sharing this bed.
Yep.
And their wife. They both had the same wife.
So, the Sky Pirates Edge Chronicle books. I'm done. We're done.
But yeah, it just made the game really finicky and annoying. And so if I was God, right, I would tell mortals, stop that! It's annoying. I can't. I need like 2 sets of beds to like and alternate days or something, and it's just there's not a command for that. So if I was God in my commandment, it would be like no polygamy because I need like 2 beds side by side, and it's complicated.
Thou shalt not be smitten with more than one other person.
Yeah. The problem is it's kind of my fault. I have this RimWorld mod that makes more relationships exist in the world, but they're not just romantic relationships. It's like
enemy, family.
Yeah. So like anyone,
brother-in-law.
Yeah. Basically anyone you run into will be like related to you somehow.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun actually. It's kind of ridiculous sometimes. Like I have this other mod that you can like snap, and so if you do like horrendous things, so my pawns will like shoot their brother, and then because their brother's a raider, and then they'll snap and become psychopaths. So that so it's kind of handy.
Lovely.
But we're not here to talk about. I guess we could talk about RimWorld. There's no.
Nope.
It's a good game.
I don't know. With your mods, it sounds very different than the RimWorld I play, which is this fun little game about building up a colony.
You're not playing RimWorld if that's what you're. Like I got this other mod. I can harvest bones off of things and build everything out of bones. I've almost saved up enough for a bone throne, which I want to build, and I don't know where I'm going to put it yet, but it takes 1,000 bones.
You have to build a bone throne room.
Yeah.
A bone room.
Yeah, I was thinking of... And then I was thinking, like, at the edges of my base, putting effigies of, like I'll attach bodies to poles and stuff and stick them around the edges of...
Yeah, no.
I also have one person that have an automatic shotgun, which is incredible. It's like... It's called a chain shotgun. It's like...
Give me your best machine gun noise. That's your best machine gun noise. That's a fun thing to do to someone to make them feel self-conscious.
Most people don't seem to mind.
Really?
I've tried it on a few people.
I've tried on some people and they seem very self-conscious or in trouble. For me, it's like when someone asks me that, I have to think about like what's the most accurate. Like, what do machine guns actually sound like? And it's like maybe a bunch of popping because I don't know what a machine gun actually sounds like. Maybe that's something I'll have to look up. Yeah. I'll give you my best machine gun noise.
Okay.
So there it was. What do you think?
You're gonna forget to edit that in.
Oh no, I'm not.
Then you're gonna forget to edit this out.
No, I'm not.
Well.
So, what do you think of my machine gun noise?
It was amazing.
Thank you. The last one I edited a water droplet into. When you were saying how you jumped off the cliff and you like just screamed into the mic.
Yeah.
At the very end of your scream, I added a water dropping sound. It's like bloop. So his scream and then falling into the water.
I like that.
I do stuff like that. I pay attention when editing.
All right.
If I come across it.
He edited in the machine gun sound.
You are listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
Speaking of politics, since we're a political podcast now,
No,
I was thinking that people shouldn't be encouraged to vote. Because there's this huge thing about, like, go out and vote, do anything and vote. When I was in university, all the teachers were like, vote. And it's like, vote, 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 vote. Everyone's saying you should vote. Once you get the right to vote, you should vote. Teachers push it, everyone pushes it, your parents push it. I don't think you should.
Don't vote. It won't matter.
No. No, I don't think that either. Well, I don't think if you don't want to vote, you shouldn't vote. Because if you don't have an opinion, then you're just wasting your vote. Like, what's the point?
Well, I
think only people that have actually like looked into it and formed an opinion should vote.
That's like you and a bunch of old geezers who would vote, Cameron.
Just me, I think. I haven't met anyone that actually read the platforms of the last vote. I was like, I read them all and I thought this one was okay, this one did this, these people didn't really have a plan, and this... I like the color red, so I'm going to vote Liberal.
I like his glasses.
Nah.
Oh, she has really nice hair.
No.
I think she would look good on TV.
Yeah. Well, it's... Yeah.
Actually, someone won like that.
A lot of people.
Really?
Yeah.
No, but I mean the first time they actually broadcasted a debate. Like, it was the very first time. I can't remember which country they did it in.
Yeah.
But the one guy who people would vote for if he's on the radio looked like an old, tired, sweaty man. And then the other one was like this young guy who's full of confidence, just like, I'm here and now.
That might have been Kennedy, speaking of Kennedy. I'm not sure, but it might have been. But yeah, no, they did some psychological tests, and they, like, one of them, they asked this woman, like, who would you vote for? And she said, oh, that candidate. It's like, oh, why? What policies do you like? She's like, oh, I wasn't listening. He just has nice, honest eyes. So I think it's fairly a bit of it. But yeah, so I think...
So if, like, you could genetically crossbreed your politicians with puppies, you could get the most likely to be elected politicians.
Like, when you get people to vote that have no idea what they're voting for, or if they just vote the way, like, their family does, or just because they think they like the party, but because parties, their names are totally misleading, so it's like, who knows what they're actually for unless you read their platform. So I think it just makes the vote kind of random if people vote when they have no clue.
And it's really hard to read a platform when they're all standing on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't think people should vote if they're...
People shouldn't vote. Cameron.
That's a little out of context.
October something. 2018. People
15th.
shouldn't vote.
It's the 15th.
Oh dear.
What?
I might have to edit that out.
Why?
People are going to realize how long it takes me to edit this.
It doesn't take you that long, does it?
It takes me like a week.
That's not that long.
It's so long.
And who cares?
Everyone cares. It's like, you don't release it immediately upon doing it? Oh, you should release it right away.
What is that? Actually, there's something weird about that. I think this is what it is. How did I do that? Look at that. I said, like, I actually stuttered there somehow.
Yeah?
Anyways.
You sound like a dolphin. That's a pretty good dolphin, actually, you can do there. Yeah, no, it's just getting a little creepy. Das ist der Philosopher.
Oh yeah, I think there's something about YouTube videos, right? When I watch some of them and I realize that they're like old, I suddenly don't like them because I'm like, oh, this is old.
Yeah.
But if they're good YouTube videos, I don't mind. So I think it's like bad YouTube videos get away with it because of like the freshness.
Yes.
But good ones don't. So
I don't like it. You've said this before, but I agree with you now. I don't like it when people date things in a way. Like saying, oh yeah, sorry, we couldn't do something this week. These things came up, so I'm just going to post this video saying sorry.
Yeah.
And then you leave that forever. Someone comes across as like, I don't care.
Yeah. No, I think you should always put announcements and stuff in separate videos. Or whatever.
And then delete the video later.
Well, you don't have to delete it necessarily. Just put in a separate thing. But
Well, when I'm reading a webcomic, I don't like reading a webcomic and coming across, sorry, I didn't post anything today.
yeah. No, that's yeah.
I find it very like, I don't care. Your webcomic's been going on for 10 years. I just started reading it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think those sort of things really help in the long term. But I think a lot of content is created in all not books, but I think even video games. Yeah, the video games definitely, and movies.
There are references to
No, okay, not all movies. Movies, it's a toss-up. Books, no, and then YouTube videos, most of them, are created to be consumed when they're released and then not in the future. Because the way I thought stuff worked is you like put a piece of work out there. Let's say I make a movie, put it on the internet. Let's say I've done that actually, and then the views slowly go up over time.
Yeah,
more and more people watch it, and it just gets more and more and more and more to the end time. But I think what the and like box office too. Like if let's say Harry Potter came out, I would have thought right opening night, and then it gets more and more views over time.
Yeah.
But how they work it is more like
initial splash.
The initial thing happens, and then it just
it drops. You're done making money.
Yeah. Of course, there's there's some movies like, I think, what was it called? Titanic. Yeah, I think it actually like got way more views later on.
That's because it was at a time housewives could go and watch it over and over and over again.
You think?
If I know anything about Titanic, yeah.
I thought it was like just the greatest movie ever made for its time or something.
It was very popular among middle-aged female Americans.
You sure?
Yes.
Huh.
I've looked at the demographics.
Have you?
Yes.
Have you actually?
Yes.
Why?
Because I was curious after reading a Foxtrot comic.
Right.
Because the Peter said to his mom that the only people who see that are people like her.
Right.
And
you looked.
And I looked it up.
Yeah. And see, that's why I don't think everyone should vote. Because some people spend their days just looking up the demographics for old movies instead of, I don't know, anything else. Not that that's bad or anything.
If I want to spend my time looking up graphics, it's not your duty to say it's wrong or not.
Yeah.
However, one thing, I think movie critics are useless, the professional ones. And why I say that is the movie Venom, right?
Yeah.
It's like come out recently.
Yeah.
And I was hearing, it's got a bunch of bad reviews.
Yeah.
And then I looked up its reviews online.
Yeah.
And the critics of reviews,
Yeah.
especially on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like, it's awful.
Yeah.
And then you look at the audience, and they're saying, it's maybe a 7.5.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, right? You see, the thing about critics is they actually know what they're talking about.
Do they though?
Yes. Okay. So here's what. Okay, that was facetious. But critics have watched way more movies than you.
Mm-hmm.
They're bored of bad movies. Like they're bored of cliches. They see a cliche.
And it makes them
They've
throw up
seen
a
it
little.
100 times before. They see the same plot, the same tired thing hammered out. They see anything that isn't original and new. That's why, like, neo-cubism exists. Because painters, they've gotten to a point where they're just good. Like, they're done.
What's neo-cubism?
That's like Picasso's sort of work. A bit after him, though, I think. I think he was the first cubist sort of guy. Maybe. I could be totally wrong there. But it's sort of like that weird multi-perspective work. Because Picasso, he can paint, like, amazingly realistic, amazingly good. He said it took him... Oh, what was it? How's the quote? He said something like, it took me 16 years to learn how to paint like a master or super realistically or something like that. And to paint in this cubism or whatever it was took me my entire life.
I really like his work.
But the thing is, he was so... Like, all the artists were just bored of, like, the realistic paintings. Yeah. And Picasso could just... He could do that. That wasn't hard. He wanted to do something fresh and interesting. So these guys, they look at it and they say... Because they know so much, they're communicating to each other in different language. It's like, look at this form. You've taken the traditional shape of an arch and twisted it so that we can see it from like an inverted perspective, which is amazing because you'd never think about it that way, but the form is still recognizable.
So they're painting artwork for artists?
Yeah.
And then the layman goes, what? What?
Yeah, exactly. They're painting... Yeah, they're painting art for artists, or for critics anyways. So like book critics, video game critics, movie critics... They've all read so many books, seen so many movies. They're, like, I have tons of friends, they recommend to me books all the time.
Yeah.
And most of them suck. Like, they're just...
Bad.
Okay, no, the books aren't bad. That's not fair.
There's poorly written pieces of garbage.
No, see, when I read Aragon, I quite liked it. A lot of people think Aragon's terrible. And it's not because it's necessarily a bad book. It's just...
It's Star Wars.
Apparent, that's what some people say. But it's just not super inspired, I guess a lot of people say. I don't know if you read the last... I think the last book's pretty clever, actually, still. I quite like that. But because it was one of the first books I read, it seemed original to me, sort of. Like, if you read The Sword of Sharanar, you might be, oh, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I have a teacher who actually, it's like one of his favorite books, and he likes it better than Lord of the Rings. He read it first, then Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is such a ripoff.
No, he knows that's a ripoff of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
But he's saying it's easier to read than Lord of the Rings and it tells the story better.
Yeah.
That was his opinion. It's just that he thought it told the story better.
Well, Sword of Saranara actually made fantasy popular as a genre because Lord of the Rings was a bit too...
Have you tried reading it?
I have read it.
I know, I just mean people in general.
Yeah, no, it was written... He was like a etymologist who... and like translator who specialized in like mythology and stuff. So it's written like an old... like the Odyssey or something.
Yeah.
Like it's in that sort of vein, or like Beowulf or something.
Yeah.
He was one of the primary translators of Beowulf, I think, Tolkien.
Yeah.
So it's definitely...
Maybe he didn't write Lord of the Rings at all. Maybe he just claimed to and translate some other person's story from like 100 years ago.
Yeah. So it's written that sort of thing. So it's very well written, but it's not accessible necessarily. Yeah. Like it's
and
not...
Sword of Saranara, you can just go, all right, this is a book I can read. Yeah. And that guy's a good writer. Like the person who wrote Sword of Saranara.
Yeah, he's not bad.
He's a really good writer, I think.
Yeah. Like I haven't read it for a while, but he's good. He's definitely good. Like because I think he's good because I didn't think he was bad, basically.
Yeah.
Like Miles Cameron, I think is his name, writes the Red Knight trilogy.
Mm.
I hear the story's quite interesting.
Yeah.
But see, this is the thing. Like this is what a lot of people really like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
like,
know someone.
It's like 4.5 out of 5 on Goodreads or something.
Yeah.
I don't like it, and it's because I can't get over the repetitive use of words, the spelling mistakes, and the homonym mistakes, and that makes me like this stuck-up critic sort of person, right? Because I've just read better, I guess.
Yeah, you've read really, really good writing.
Yeah, and it's not saying that his story's bad.
Yeah,
it's just the writing isn't great, but I find a lot of there's some really my writing instructors at UVic, are incredible writers.
Mm-hmm.
I doubt I'd like their writing because like their sentences are all perfect kind of thing.
Yeah,
but they've also written several books, but I don't think they've ever published them or something because it's just like you can make something perfectly written and it could be boring. Like so I think it's more important to be a good storyteller. So good on Miles Cameron for that. But I just would rather read something with a good story and well written. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, like I've been reading the Thief of Swords trilogy.
Yep.
I think there's 6 books, but they're packed into groups of 2, so I'm not sure what to call it.
Okay.
And the first book,
Twin Trilogy.
Yeah. Twin Trilogy.
Yeah.
But the first book, very good plot, fairly poorly written in my no spelling mistakes or anything like that. He took twice as long as he needed to say stuff, sort of, and it was just sort of awkward phrased, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like good. But I was like, this plot's good. Like I was talking about the Iron Druid Chronicles on one of our earlier ones, where the first book was good and they got worse. And I think that's because he was a very solid writer, very solid storyteller, but he kind of fell out of his groove because it was a very narrow groove. Whereas you could tell reading the first book of Thief of Swords, I was like, this is a wide groove. Mm-hmm. This guy
can write a lot of different things and ways.
Or this guy, he's got an amazing premises. He knows what he's doing.
Good sense of humor.
Amazing sense of humor. Amazing sense of etymology, history,
And we all know you're about that etymology.
It's important. A lot of writers think you can just make up words. Yeah. But you can't because it sounds terrible. You have to base it in something.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can't pronounce because it's not... Even that actually made more sense than some of the stuff people do. Because they'll hit letters they think are cool. Like, okay, K's are cool, Z's are cool.
X's,
that's cool.
Q's.
So then you have... And it's not a sound.
Yeah, and then they have several apostrophes in there for good measure.
Like, I asked a writer friend of mine, I was like, how do you pronounce that name? He's like, oh, I don't know.
You know.
Like, even if you just sit there and go, this guy's name is Thulapoti. That's better than hitting cool-looking keys. Because you need it to work. Or it's hard to... The problem with it is, you can't memorize it because how your memory works, it doesn't memorize collections of letters. Well, you have dyslexia, so I have no clue how your memory works. But most people, I think, at least me, and I think this is true, don't actually memorize Actually, maybe you memorize individual letters, which is why writing is harder for you. I could believe that.
I'm not sure I do.
But, because if you look at a word, like let's say, highway, right?
Yeah. You look at high and way.
Not even that. You look at like GHHIWAY, something like that. And it's these clumps sort of thing. Or even the sounds out loud, highway.
Yeah.
Like high is used a lot, highway, like the phonemes. They're used a lot. So you don't have to memorize these.
Yeah.
You don't actually have... If someone asks... People have asked how to spell words. I'm not very good at spelling, but But when someone says, like, how do you spell this? Everyone kind of goes, oh, it's got to be spelled like this, right? Because they know what sounds
work.
Yeah, they know what letters make sounds. It's like, how do you spell sequoia? Well, you'd want 6, so that'd probably be SIC or something. But then it's coius, so QU. But if it's sequoia, then you don't need the SCKQ, so it's probably SIQU, something like that. I don't know. But something along that line.
Yeah.
And if you just create random letters, then you can't memorize it. It makes the book a lot harder to follow.
Yeah.
So this guy, anyways, excellent sense of etymology. His names, all good. They all have meaning even. There's this person who's really kind.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of weird because, you know my story about golems, right?
Yeah.
He has a lot of the same names in his book.
Really?
And I'm like, I can't publish this now because people think I'm ripping them off. Because I think what happened is we did the same thing, almost. Because he's set in sort of Germany-ish area, which is where mine's set. And I think he's set closer to like Italy, Austria, sort of imagine, because it's a bit more coastal. And there's like a Venice sort of city. But like there's a character called Grady, like in mine.
Yeah.
And there's a character called Amelia.
Amelia?
Amelia. I think I have an Amelia. I'm pretty sure I do. What's the golem's name? The little girl golem.
Amelia.
Yeah, I think it's called Amelia. So I named her Amelia because that means friend.
Yeah.
And so he has a character that takes care of someone called Amelia. And I was like, it's because she's her friend and taking care of her. And I can't remember why I chose Grady, but he has a Grady as well. And so you can, and also he knows ship stuff. Like he knows how boats work. He knows how armies works. He knows how strategy works. He knows how fighting works.
Yeah. So
it's very solid. There's nothing wrong in it. It's just, it wasn't very well written.
Yeah.
But I'm going to read the second book because really strong first showing, just not the best written. Second book, much better written, and all the other strengths are still there. Third book, even better written. Fourth book, like it's diminishing returns because I think by like the book I'm at, book 4, he's like, he's got it. He doesn't need to. The one thing he does, which I don't like, his world's kind of gray, like the morals, it's not black and white. Except it is black and white because how he makes a gray character. He seems to think
you can throw 20 gray blacks and 20 whites.
Yes. Have you read this?
Nope.
How he does, it's like he splices black and gray back and forth. He's like, I'm going to pet this dog and kill a child, and then I shall go to the park and help people paint, and then well, that's not good. Inherently good. But, it's like his gray characters aren't like, oh, should I steal to feed for myself even though this will hurt that person, but it'll help me? His gray people are like, I'm going to kill that person, and then, unrelatedly, I'm going to give this child money.
Yeah.
It's like there's a character, right? He would, like one of the main characters, his name's Royce.
Yeah.
He would kill you for like a piece of copper. Like he's soulless. But when he returns to his hometown, he sees this kid starving in the street, and he slips a gold coin into an apple and gives it to the kid. He's so and the main characters are the best about this, like Royce and Hadrian. Like the thing about the main character, like Royce is basically a psychopath, so you could see him just randomly choosing people he likes and doesn't like. The kid reminds him of himself. The guy he slit the throat of annoyed him. Yeah. So that kind of works. And Hadrian, the other main character, is kind of like that too, except he's a really nice guy, but he's willing to do evil things. So they're kind of like a team of opposites. But so they actually have a bit of gray. But all the other characters are just like evil, good, evil, good, evil, good. And it's really...
They're yin and yang, but without the dots in the yin and yang.
Yeah, it's very jarring. It's like... Because you don't know... It... Like, they're just so like, you know those books where it's really poorly written because, like, the villain is just irredeemable? Like, like Lord Fowl or the Dark One from The Wheel of Time or something like
Hades,
like Sauron, right?
Yeah.
They're evil.
Yeah.
But that's okay because they're, like, this faceless evil. But there's the evil where they do it from their point of view and they're like, I got to push Daryl into the toilets today, and that was fun because it was my right because I'm a bully, and that is what bullies do because the strongest should win. And then I took Cynthia's hair and pulled it, and it was funny because everyone laughed at her and she cried. What a wimp. Ha! I like being this way, being strong and better than everyone. There's people that'll write like that.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how he writes his characters.
Except
they will do that, and then they will switch suddenly to, but I should look after your child. And it's like, see, they're a gray character. You don't know if there's good and evil. It's like Deacon Thomas, I think, is the biggest example. Is like, he's like, okay, there's people being killed by a beast. Can we go into the empty castle? No, I'm the steward of this castle. It's like, and then the main character's like, well, then I'll tell the lords how you, in his absence, got his people killed. He's like, oh, very well, you may, I guess, I don't know. Okay, you can come in the castle. And then later in the books, it's like someone's injured and he's like, looks after them. He runs into a burning building to save them. Because he's a good priest. But he also is like stuck up and like, but it's just back and forth. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So if he fixes that, they'd be perfect. But
Okay, you've been listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
One of the things I really don't like with writing is, I try to avoid this in my writing and fail a lot of the time, is when the writer thinks they're clever, and they think they're really clever, and so they write purposely long, flimsy, flippant sentences, and like do sentences like that, except worse.
Yeah.
And like, oh, look how clever I am. And it takes you 2 pages to read a sentence. I've read several books like that because
purple prose, they call it.
Sometimes when I used to buy books on Kindle, I like buy book packs and just go, okay, I like this book, don't like this one.
Yeah.
And so I could find series to read and like continue reading them. And I just remember one of the books, the author seemed to be in love with how clever he thought he was or something. And he's just like writing like, ha, look how clever I am. Ha, look how clever I am. And it's just started to take away from the story with the author just trying to say, I'm so clever. Look at my writing. It's clever.
Yeah, the Slowly Guard of Silent Things is kind of like that. Except he's so good, you can't deny it.
Yeah, exactly. He actually is clever.
He's the best writer I've ever read. It's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
I don't mean the story's good. I mean the technical aspect is incredible. Like, Shakespeare's got nothing on him kind of thing. Like, that's the only person I can think to compare it to almost. Like, it's ridiculous.
Like, someone tries to write, like, the Slowly Guard of Silent Things, except they can't, but they think they are, and you can sort of feel that in their writing.
Like, if you read the Slowly Guard of Silent Things, that is a perfectly written book.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Apparently he edits those things over 80 times, and I can believe it.
Well, no, the Slowly Guard was his least edited one.
Really?
Which was only 80 times. He's like, unfortunately, I felt bad. He said, I felt bad about releasing this book when I did, because I'd only edited it 80 times, and it's his shortest piece of work he's written, besides his short stories he adds to collections.
It's crazy.
Because that's what he used to do before he wrote his other books. He'd add stories to collections.
It's so well written, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It sounds, like, if you read it out loud, it sounds good. Like, it's like...
in my own writing, I try to combine Patrick Rothfuss and Terry Pratchett. That's my aim for writing.
If you can succeed, then you've got one of the best written books ever.
That's my aim for writing, is combining Terry Pratchett's humor with Patrick Rothfuss's just beautiful style.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, when I see things, I like how they're written.
Yeah.
And also, Sanderson's straightforwardness. Like, I just,
Yeah.
like, his wonder, I guess. That's what he does. It's just like, wow.
Terry Pratchett's amazing.
Yeah.
But no, they're both. If you could combine them, if you can succeed in that, then that's like going to be one of the best books ever, basically.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm reluctant to say, like, I am very slowly writing a book, but I don't even like saying that because I feel like one of those people who sits at Starbucks is like, I'm writing a book. Because I don't put time into it. I'm aware. It's just a thing I do for fun. And, like, I've had friends like, oh yeah, I'm slowly writing a book. Do you want to read some of it?
Yeah.
And then it's like, and they're doing that so you can encourage them to keep writing. I want people to read what I've written yet.
Yeah.
Because I'm not done. Like, I feel even bad when I, like, draw a picture. It's like, all right, it's slightly done. What do you think?
Yeah.
But I do that so people can help me with the direction. Yeah.
You brought me one the other day.
Yeah, no, that's because that's a step. Because if I get to a step of goodness, then I'm like, okay, how's this? Because I like doing things in steps so people can see, okay, this was the original, this is where it got to.
Yeah, if I ever, like, share a bit of a, like Necromancer is the main one. I would, with you, I always try to do it in chapters.
Yeah, it's like, I want to share a section of thing. Like, if I have a picture that's a half-drawn face,
Yeah.
I wouldn't share this with someone, whereas it's like a baseline of the face. Like, okay, this is how I'm going to draw it. Does this shape look right?
Yeah. Do people, like, share, like, part of a face, though, kind of thing?
Well, no, that was a bad example. I'm saying that's how I feel sometimes when people share writing.
Right.
It's like, and this is as far as I gotten.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
just...
Yeah, you got it right. Sucker.
Well, it's not that...
Finish it.
I don't know. I just don't like uncompleted stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like steps have completed something to the point it needs to be completed too.
Yeah. But yeah, just there's something beautiful about Patrick Rothfuss writing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not even a huge Patrick Rothfuss fan, honestly.
No.
So that's I'm not just like I like his books, but they're not. Well, I don't know. They used to be some of my favorite, and then I haven't read them for a while, and now they're not. So maybe I just need to reread them.
Well,
I just don't think it's a very exciting plot.
Yeah,
Like how we were talking about where some people, they're very good writers but don't write a very interesting plot.
Yeah.
Patrick Rothfuss is kind of like that, but he's on the edge enough that it's...
he also writes a really cool world and a really cool setting.
I don't find his world that interesting, actually.
You don't?
No, it's kind of standard, isn't it?
I don't know.
Just like a normal fantasy world, I find.
Well, with this whole, just the stories about characters, like these legendary characters, and sort of showing like how they actually get created.
Yeah, I guess
And
there's that.
also,
A little-
like,
yeah, it's a bit about storytelling.
I love that school, like just the concept of its library,
Yeah.
and how it's built. Like, it's just building after building after building was built, and they sort of like this jumbled mess of sticking together, and you can get lost in there because the building doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then you go into the library, and it's just like books upon books, and there's a mini war going on within the library. People trying to organize their books differently.
Oh,
and
there's different systems.
Yeah, different systems, and they like change them up, and so some books that don't line up, they just destroy them
Yeah.
in anger or hide them away. And then you go deeper down, and there's these hidden rooms, and there's like a person living within the library, within this hidden room made out of books. And then you go farther down, there's these doors that open up into this like weird sewer system underneath the whole college.
Yeah, I mean, the Edge Chronicles has a very similar sort of library.
Yeah, no, I love the Edge Chronicle library too. I love those weird giant, I don't know, like unreal university ideas. Like
You should
even
read Gormenghast. That's what Gormenghast is.
like even the college I go to, its layout doesn't feel right because it's built into the side of a hill.
Yeah,
and so you can enter the building from the ground, go up a staircase, and exit the building on the ground.
Yeah.
And I find that so cool. And
It's
they're
very
just
easy to get lost into.
yeah, it's just like there's some weird hallways, and then recently it's like I went down into the T wing, the technical wing.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, there's a lot more space, and I thought it was like a small little hallways. And then I kept wandering through there, and then I was like, whoa, there's even more space than I thought. And it's just, I find that really cool, and those are the rooms I'm allowed to go into. I just want to like go into like the, I don't know, worker rooms with the hanging pipes spraying out steam and stuff, and meander through the dimly lit tunnels.
There's only like 2 or 3 rooms you can't go in, I think.
Yeah.
I've been in them.
Yeah, I mean,
I
still,
used to work there.
yeah, still, it's just that whole idea, like when you, Like, apparently his whole underground world, Patrick Rothfuss's world, is based around the city he grew up in, which actually has these maintenance tunnels everywhere. And the tunnel, there is like a tunnel underneath the city hall that if you go down the right tunnels will lead you to the tunnel under the university. And each person owns the rights to their own tunnels. And there's this guy who wanders about underneath there, and he constantly gets in trouble because you're not allowed to be in other people's tunnels. And so he has to do volunteer work so he's allowed to do it, because he just loves being in the tunnels.
Tunnels.
Yeah.
So you like books with tunnels in them?
I do. I like tunnels. I like caves.
Tunnels.
Tunnels and caves.
Have you ever read... What was it called? Lightbringer. No. That's a different book.
Yes, I have read Lightbringer.
Have you?
Maybe. Maybe not.
What is it called, Lightbringer? There's a trilogy by Brent Weeks called Lightbringer, I think, which is really good. Would recommend it.
Okay.
But I'm not thinking of that. I'm thinking of... It was called like The Prism or Lightbringer or Ember or something. It's about these people that live underground and aren't allowed to leave anyways.
Oh, wasn't there a movie about that?
Yeah, well, the movie seemed incredibly similar, but it had a different name, I think. The movie was called like City of Ember or something.
I really liked that movie, even though I just remember it. It was really cool how, like, they just... I like big mechanical things as well, like this whole setup where it's like you got these big cogs and stuff rolling, and then you, like, sets up this thing so then Rube Goldberg machines. I like Rube Goldberg machines that actually do something, though.
Rube Goldberg machines in tunnels.
Yes. Dwarves as well. And gnomes. Except, strangely, I don't like steampunk. And I'm not...
Aren't dwarves kind of steampunk? Sort of?
Well,
they don't use steam necessarily.
I think my issue with steampunk is their fashion choices.
Yeah. They
Which
gotta wear
is-
chainmail. Which
Which is
I'm
weird
sorry.
because...
No, I'd like to take a moment here to stop and apologize for what I just said.
Chainmail?
Yes, but I like to defend it by saying that in the 18th century, it became very fashionable among historical scholars to call armor mail. So chain armor became called chain mail. So technically, I was being... I feel bad for
You're
saying
detracting from my
it, but I'm
conversation I was
still
having.
being historically... and it's not... What I'm saying is I'm sorry, but also... It's not as wrong as you might think, so that's not really sorry.
And no one cares.
A lot of people care.
Fine. But yeah,
A lot of people.
I really...
I just saved us from getting, like, hate mail coming.
Okay. Right.
Like, you know Howler from Harry Potter?
Yeah.
It'd be like that, but full of, like, the SCPA. No, wait.
SCPA?
SCA?
SCA?
Society for Creative Acronym.
Oh.
SCA or SFCA?
You mean like the peeled nuts?
No, like they're the LARPers.
Yeah. That's what peeled nuts are.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're historical reenactors.
Oh, I thought that was the Terry Pratchett soccer team.
No, the peeled nuts are the reenactors in Terry Pratchett's This World.
Oh, okay. Anyways.
Yeah, but it's weird that I don't like steampunk because of the fashion, because I like Victorian fashion. It's just, I don't know, I don't like the two genres getting combined of the Victorian with the whatever.
Also, the steam's a bit overkill. Like, it's very inefficient.
Also,
It's incredibly inefficient.
I don't know, steampunk tries to be a little gritty,
Yeah.
and I don't like the amount of grease. That's what I don't like about steampunk, is the grease.
It's all based on neuromancer.
Yeah, I don't like the grease and dust from steampunk. And this, I don't know, a lot of steampunk is dark fantasy.
Yeah.
And I don't like dark fantasy getting combined with awesomeness of like giant cogs turning and then these things happen. No. Although I really do like, what's his name? Hayazumi Saki. Just Hayazumi?
What are you talking about?
The guy who made Howl's Moving Castle movie and the Flying Castle.
Miyu... No. That's
Ghibli?
Studio Ghibli.
Yeah.
Miyotashi, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He do good.
I really like his creations. Like, they're so
Miyamoto?
awesome.
No.
No.
That's someone else.
Isn't Miyamoto a...
Smash Bros? Head of Nintendo? Something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Their names are hard for me to remember.
But they're not as hard as names from like fantasy written by people that don't have any sense to their names.
I've come up with this rule with choosing names for my book, my little story, which is they have to be usable unless I'm doing it as parody. Like okay, a syllable that you can pronounce. So like Cal.
Yeah.
Like you can have Cal.
Yeah.
And then Ren. Calren.
Yeah.
Put that together. Where someone else might go, all right, Caleno.
Yeah. Well, even if you can say it, I'm okay with it basically.
Yeah, but
although that said, something like Calren, I'm not a really big fan of still because it's a weird name because there's not often that you have two hard sounds like. I guess there is, but it's what does it mean?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Although the one of the problems with the little story I'm writing is a lot of the character. I'm writing it as a joke on Assassin's Fantasy or a parody slightly to Assassin's Fantasy, and so one of the characters has I think 2 apostrophes within his name. And like a SH as well, and a US.
The guttural stops, or whatever they're called. I don't like. Fantasy's gotten crazy with them. Even worse, the same writer friend, hopefully he doesn't listen to this. Or maybe hopefully he does. I think I've called him out on it, but so I think I'm not saying anything behind his back. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned it to him. But he's used the guttural stops. And I've said, so you pronounce this name like Layu or whatever, and he's like, no, you just ignore it. Then why is it in the name?
Yeah. No, it's...
But see, the only person I think that I'm really happy with using them is Stephen Erickson in Miles and Book of the Fallen, because he's an anthropologist, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, although it makes his books kind of unfair to compare to other people's writings in a way.
Did you know almost all of our music is done by Windsvept, so if you like it, go check him out. Also, so you know, our intro music, which is very lovely, is done by Adrian von Ziegler. As well, you are listening to The Fool and The Philosopher.
Alright, so yeah, we had that words. I was gonna say something. I guess we can just go from here. Yeah. Apparently I was boring Connor, so we had a cut where we decided what was more interesting. So, instead of the book awards, what is it? Self-help books. It's and all that, like seminars and meditation retreats and all that. I think there's people that are addicted to those. And they've, well, first of all, do you agree with that?
Kind of. I kind of agree with it. I think they can be useful.
Yeah.
If you read one of them and you go, okay, I can apply this, then you apply it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
As opposed to you read 20 self-help books and it doesn't do anything for you.
Yeah, it makes you feel good because you're like, I've learned how to be so wise. And you keep feeling that over and over again.
Yeah.
But, I said this, I chat with this guy online, and we were talking about Jordan Peterson. He's saying, I used to listen to Jordan Peterson, and then I decided to stop and just do the stuff he said. And I was like, yeah, at some point you have to put down the self-help books and actually just live them.
Yeah, well, for me, I'm listening to the audiobook of Jordan Peterson.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it incredibly slowly.
Yeah.
And I'm not consuming it like a normal audiobook because I want to actually be able to go, okay, I've listened to this.
Yeah.
I've learned this. I can try to apply it to my life. I can try to share it with other people. I understand this enough that I can go, okay, this is what this section's about. I can try to change my life by doing this and talk to other people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to mess up his advice, basically. So I'm taking it really slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. I found that with Meditations when I was reading it, like by Marcus Aurelius. How I would read like a sentence and be like, that sentence is too profound to just keep going. I have to stop and like think about it.
Yeah.
And like memorize it and keep going. I think I've forgotten it all by now. But, there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Or, I mean, it sounds like I've read a lot, but I haven't. I sort of stopped reading self-help books right by the beginning.
Yeah.
Because like, one of the self-help books or sort of books I read, was saying, all right, do this before you read this book. If you cannot do this, wait until you can, then you can read this book. And it's like, can I do that? Nope. Okay, I'm going to try. And I couldn't do it. And so I actually haven't picked up the book since then.
Yeah.
And it's just been trying to get to that point since then. Because it's like, if that book has such a profound effect on me, or it's like, his instructions in the starting of the book is, can you do this? No, don't read this book. It's like, I'm not at the point where reading this book would help me. Putting it down.
Yeah, I think a lot of self-help books would benefit from a section like that, where it's like, stop. You must have implemented steps 1 through 6 in your life before you're allowed to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people talk about how video games are weird because, well, I do anyways. And I've heard a comedian talk about it. I can't remember which comedian, but he was saying how video games are weird because might have been what's his name? Guy that's in a bit of flack now. Louis C.K. Yeah. But yeah, it was something like, no other form of media requires you to be good to keep going.
Yeah.
Like a book is like, all right, you've read 6 chapters.
Here's a test.
You have to write me an essay explaining the themes and the actions of the main characters before you're allowed to continue.
Yeah.
But
I failed to beat the boss chapter.
I think that in some ways, I'm not sure how you do it. Not like that. That would be boring. But you should almost benefit from implementing that. Like,
all right, so I've designed my book so there's leather casings within it. Now, if you want to get to the next part, there's a sequential code that you have to unlock by understanding the clues within my text.
yeah. Okay, you've watched 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. Who is Jon Snow's mother? You're not allowed to keep watching the TV series unless you can answer this question correctly. You have 3 guesses.
Good thing.
Yeah.
It's not you have 3 guesses. With like video games, you can keep smashing your head against it until you're done, unless you're playing like a hardcore thing.
Yeah.
And then you can keep attempting to read the
You
whole
have to
thing.
start you have to start Game of Thrones from season 1.
Yes. You have to start Mouse and Book of the Fallen from the beginning again.
No, we're not allowed to talk about books, Connor. They're boring. I watched. This podcast is now just us talking about media we've consumed. That's good. Or is that too meta? That feels a bit too meta. That I broke the 4th wall. We'll need to build a 5th one.
Okay.
Right. It's a 5-dimensional podcast. Oh, that's cringy. I don't like. All self-referencing is cringy too. It's endless. Okay.
You just have to stop.
Yeah. Help. I watched One Punch Man yesterday.
Ah.
I didn't like it.
No?
It's really boring.
Is it?
Yeah, he won every fight with 1 punch.
I really like it. I think it's really funny.
I could see where. You watch the animes, right?
Yeah.
Are they very short?
What do you mean?
I have watched several animes.
Yeah.
I've watched the Sword Art Online part of it.
Yeah.
And I've watched 1 episode of One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And I've watched 3 episodes of Food Wars, or whatever it's called.
Okay. You've watched more Food Wars than me.
So, I don't remember the Swordy one feeling like this.
Yeah.
But One Punch Man and the Food Wars felt like this, where it's like the intro's 5 minutes, the outro is 5 minutes, and there's like a 2-minute show in the middle. And it feels like they're trying to explain an idea, and it takes like 10,000 episodes to do it because there's very little time for them to actually do it within.
Well,
so our anime is really short.
it depends on the anime. There is some argument over if it's good or not. Because there's some very popular anime that does what you said, which is has the 5 minutes and 5 minutes and then like a little bit in the middle.
Yeah.
And some people say those are bad.
Yeah.
However, that's like Naruto, which is very popular.
Yeah.
But a lot of people say it does that.
Because One Punch Man felt very short. Like I could...
One Punch Man, I think the first episode... Like, if you're going by the first episodes, they usually are going to do that because they're trying to establish the world.
Yeah.
Like, that's the attempt of the first episode. Trying to, like, show you, do you want to watch this or not?
Yeah.
If the Food Wars kept doing that...
Yeah.
I'd say it's not very good.
Because in Food Wars, they cook 1 meal per episode.
Yeah. Well,
It's a cooking show with 1 meal per episode.
What about Pokemon? Like, that's an anime.
Yeah.
So, Does it do that? No, not really.
I don't remember.
Okay, it doesn't.
It felt like it went for a while. I think they have like double episode like things almost. But it's
Yeah,
also
something.
like Western, isn't it? Sort of. So it's
No, Pokemon's definitely made for Japan first.
Is it?
Yes,
Huh.
definitely.
I thought they edited it really heavily or something.
They do edit really heavily.
Yeah, so it might be like
But they want to convert the timing and make it faster. But so I'd say that not good anime does that.
yeah.
One Punch Man is partly also parody on anime.
Yeah. I
Um,
on superheroes. I have to admit,
Yeah.
I quite liked how every single villain had this elaborate backstory that
Yeah.
they said like every time. It's
and
was-
I
that was
don't know.
very
I feel like if you didn't like the first one, that's fine.
yeah.
But I feel like you should give it a bit more of a chance. Although I don't know if things deserve chances when watching them.
Yeah, if you
Like if you need to give it a chance to like it,
I see where you're going with that.
yeah, like
Because that does make a certain degree of sense. But at the same time, if you had to give everything a second chance,
yeah.
wow, that would be a lot of
Yeah,
terrible stuff
exactly.
you'd have to do.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know if you would like One Punch Man or not. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
I find the concept really terrible. Okay, I kind of find it interesting, but I also can't imagine how they do it well. So that's why I watched the first episode, and I don't think they did.
Well, I think you should at least try to watch it. I'm saying this because I think it's so good.
Yeah.
I'm saying you should try to watch the second episode, but I'm not saying you have to do this for everything else. It's just, I really liked it.
Maybe if it's like amazing, then yeah.
Like, I really like the series.
Just to talk about a book for a second, Miles and Book of the Fallen. People say you have to read at least you have to read at least book 2 before you can give up, and I would agree with that. But
That's a lot of investment.
yeah, but well, that's basically the same as like 2 episodes of One Punch Man.
Not if you're listening to the audiobooks.
Or it's 2,000 pages, Connor. I can't read that.
I know. But if you listen to the audiobook, that's over a week of time. Like, pure time of a week.
No, it'd be like half a week. No, it'd be a third of a week.
The books
Yeah, it'd be a
are...
third of a week.
The books are like 36 hours long
Yeah,
each.
it's 168 hours in a week. So
Okay, fine.
Yeah, it'd be like a third of a week.
It's still a lot of time. You can't listen to one of those in a
Yeah.
month.
No books. No more. We're done. No, those are audiobooks. It's okay. Right. I'm mocking you slightly. I'm so, no, I'm not.
No, it's fine.
I'm not sorry.
It's fine to
It
mock
feels
me.
good. Yeah, but yeah. So okay, but One Punch Man, I quite like the parts of it. Like I said, how the villains appear and they have these elaborate backstories and and I like the art. The art's very good. How they constantly switch styles and it's very cool how they do that.
I like that. That's actually one thing I like about some other anime can do it, but I don't think as well.
Yeah.
Is One Punch Man has that whole thing where Samato is like, is he bald in the first episode?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like drawn as sort of like this, I don't know, looks like an egg.
Yeah, he said he trained so hard he went bald.
Yeah. Yeah, so he looks like an egg.
Yeah,
and
but then sometimes they switch and he looks like hardcore.
Yeah, he's like really, not skinny, but just sort of gormless in shape. And he's just walking. And then, like, he suddenly gets all serious and gets that glint to his eye. And you see his whole body is just like pure muscle.
Yeah, and he looks like awesome.
And the epic music plays. And then he punches something and it's gone.
And he's got like a dumb look on it. I really liked when
Yeah, his dumb look is just like, oh, like his mouth's sort of open and his eyes are
I
blurred.
really like when the strongest man on earth punched him, and he looked so happy for a second, like his eyes. You know, he was about to punch him, and his eyes like sparkled. He was like, hey, and like didn't do anything to him.
Yeah,
which I see why they want to do that. They want to explore like a Superman-like character because I thought that'd be an interesting arc for Superman, which they do sometimes.
Yeah,
but it's just. I can't see how you do it well, and they didn't seem to do it because...
Well, I don't think the first episode explores. I think the first episode establishes.
And also, I did find it kind of weird how they kept zooming in on a cactus.
A cactus?
Yeah.
Oh, the cactus in his house.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about.
It's his pet cactus.
They just kept cutting to the cactus.
Yeah, it's the cactus in his house.
Yeah. It's very... I don't know.
I'm going to say, like, you don't have to, but
like because
watch one more episode. That's
why I watched the first episode was because I was thinking I can't imagine this would be good.
Yeah,
I was not proven wrong. So we'll have to see.
To watch the second episode,
And it just kind of disturbs me that so many people like it. I feel like I must be missing something.
Yeah, well, if not by the second episode, then you can be done with it.
Yeah, well, I'm probably done with it either way. I don't even watch stuff I like most of the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not really a TV watcher. But, yeah, I'll give a second episode a shot sometime.
Yeah.
It was pretty miserable yesterday. It was raining really hard. So I just watched... No, it wasn't yesterday. It was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I've lost track of time. I still think it's Saturday.
Yeah. No, I lose track of time too sometimes.
You are listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
You know those people that climb mountains and post it on Instagram and Facebook, and they're like, "It was great to be out here," and they're the kind of people that go to meditation retreats and eat gluten-free food, and they sicken me.
Really weird. Okay, for one, gluten-free food. It's perfectly fine to be gluten-free.
No, it's not. You're a wimp. You're a coward.
Or you have a horrible disease.
You're a coward and a wimp. You should eat gluten like men.
But no one of the things that
Even though women should be men. Gluten. 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 I can't eat gluten.
Yeah. But in the I don't know if it was in first or third, we talked about how people are so down on themselves in social media, like, oh, that's me. In my college classes, people are always going on about whenever we talk about social media, how everyone's trying to make themselves look good on social media and make their lives look better than they are. Everyone's so egotistical on social media.
Nah.
But when I look at, everyone hates themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm confused. Like, do they have a different social media than me, or is that just their conception of it?
No, I have like 2 friends that are like outdoorsy, gluten-free meditation types, and
does their
sicken.
Or is it is it those people who post all the things that try and make their lives look better? Is it that their lives are just better?
I think that so, yeah. But one of them's missing a finger, so it couldn't have gone that well for him. Piece of heavy machinery fell in his hand.
Ah.
Yeah. And that's why I stopped working on with heavy machinery.
Really?
Yeah.
And why you don't want to work with it again?
Yeah. Because I like my fingers, and he got injured doing a very different kind of job, but still.
Yeah, well,
I think, he was working with a jack, and he had, like, a backhoe up on it or something. Whereas I was working with a wood chipper, so it's... So,
if you get slightly injured by one of those, it sucks. Like the jack dropping, a wood chipper grabs you and keeps injuring.
Yeah, so... I'm done. Wood chippers have a lot of safety features, you'd be surprised. But still...
Well, when I was doing
no thank you.
a brief amount of work with the bloody a stone crusher, looking at the other coworkers, like, I don't know, I was worried that I would get used like them if I kept working there to how unsafe these become. Like, you're supposed to wear these particle masks because there's poison in the air, basically, particle rock dust.
Yeah.
And these people are just like taking off their masks because they don't want to wear them, and then it's like, oh, supervisor comes by, put back on the mask, sort of thing. Or it's like, all right, put on the mask at the start, then take it down because I don't want to wear it, then I'll put it back on again. And it's just like, okay. And then like this one guy's like, all right, use the back handle of this broom to like knock the rocks in if they get stuck.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's fine, because if you stop the machine, then it like messes up because the machines are poorly designed after they stop. They can't start again unless they're empty. It's like, fine, okay, use the broom. Then I saw one guy had the broom and he's like knocking it, and then the thing grabbed the broom, and I saw him wrestling the broom in there. Just like, what the heck? You should just stop it. He's like, got out, and then the people next to him was like, oh, nice, you got out. It's just like, what sort of place am I working in?
It's amazing how quickly people get bored of anything.
Yeah.
Like, I think we talked about this before, but not in terms of danger. But it's like, driving a car, even. It's It's deadly.
I still have nightmares about not knowing how to drive a car and then being forced to drive one.
It's probably the most dangerous thing people do.
Yeah.
Like, normal people.
Yeah.
Like, well, I'm sure, okay, it's the most dangerous thing we do overall.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure the one time you jumped into a pool and nearly hit your head was more dangerous, but you don't do that every day.
Yeah, so with like driving, you're like driving, it's going 90, and it's like, oh, I'm going to go 100. Oh, I'm going to go 110. Wait a minute, why am I speeding? And then you're just like...
Yeah, it's just, or even normal, like, forget speeding. You're going 90 kilometers an hour in a 2-ton ball of metal. Like,
Yeah.
insane. Like, people, they're... Lovecraft was wrong, okay? Because he said there's things that you imagine, right? That just blow it. You're like, Cthulhu, and now my brain's broken.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a different guy, I forget his name, but he was awesome. And he said, look, people left a cave once
Yeah.
and could handle the stars at night. They can handle anything.
Mm.
Because it's incredible that
Wasn't that Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
I don't think so.
Mm.
I think it was...
I think he expressed the idea.
Yeah, but it was on like Dan Carlin's Hardcore History or something.
Oh.
But it was like a guy he interviewed.
Well, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy definitely had the part where it talks about humans. Like you have these "it's not my problem" devices,
Yeah.
which is like the only reason humans are not sitting outside staring at the stars is because they have the incredible ability to get bored to amazing
Is
things.
this on when it's red or off?
Yes, it's on.
Okay.
When it's flashy, it's off.
Okay.
It'll flash red if I have it muted.
Okay, good.
And besides, you can see
We can just record for 2 hours on mute.
No.
Okay.
Hopefully not. If it was still picking up the sound like that, that'd be a really cruel and weird software thing to do.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna record it and then delete it.
Yeah.
Right. So, anyway.
But yeah, it's just like he's saying humanity won't be able to get to the point it was without them having the ability to be bored.
Yeah. So, but it's like the fact. Okay, people walk around, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we can drive cars.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Our reflexes are so good. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. Like, do you think a dog could drive a car? I don't know if a dog could.
Maybe if it dragged it really slowly.
Well, maybe. I think they might have pretty. Like when we toss our dog a treat, right?
Yeah.
He catches it pretty good.
Yeah, 50% of the time.
Yeah. But like, so maybe dogs could, but
Mm-hmm.
and like a cat could easily drive a car.
Yeah.
And maybe do you think like
Would you want a cat to drive a car though?
like what about a snake? I think people are faster than snakes. I'm not certain, but I think we are. I'm pretty sure we're faster than like if you held your hand in front of a cobra and it struck at you, I'm pretty sure you could dodge.
Well, cobras are actually rather slow compared to most snakes in their
Okay.
striking speed.
But I think like take your fastest snake. I think a person can probably dodge.
Well, we go with the viper then.
Yeah.
And people can.
Yeah.
So
Like
it's just having the ability to do so.
like a pike or something, right?
Mhm.
I don't know if we could dodge that. Those things are quick.
You
Like-
could dodge a pike.
They're like light speed.
You could dodge a pike.
Mongoose, easy.
Cameron, pitchers throw balls at a low end speed of 90 miles per hour in baseball. 90 miles per hour.
Yeah.
And people can hit that back towards
can I
them.
type? I want to see how fast a pike can move.
No.
Okay, they can move pretty fast.
Yes.
I bet a pike could catch a baseball.
90 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Cameron,
Okay, yeah. So, anyways, I don't know if that's. But anyways, why did I? We can drive cars. Dangerous cars are dangerous.
People get used to
bored.
danger,
Yeah, cool.
yeah, we get bored.
Yeah, we get bored. And people's lives on Instagram. Good for you. But also, yeah, there's the other side where the people say like, had a terrible day today. What happened? Don't want to talk about it. Everyone's made a reference to that, like every observational comic and everyone else's. But it's because it's done and it's. There's these things where so I've been watching these guys called Soot House on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they're very funny.
Yeah.
And they go to all these things where these people do these crazy things. Like they went to like creepy texts and stuff as this like website and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Where people just send these like really creepy text messages. And it's very funny. You laugh at it and stuff. But at the same time, you feel a bit sad. Like someone wrote these.
Yeah.
And I've been there too. I've written some pretty dumb text. I think...
Hey, baby, don't be broken up with your boyfriend. I'm here to put you back together.
Yeah. You broken up with your abusive boyfriend yet? I get... Because when you fall down, I'm here to catch you.
Yeah.
And I won't let go. Yeah, no, I haven't quite sent that sort of text. But I've sent some texts that I still regret to this day. But the thing is, I don't regret them that much. Actually, no. Honestly, regret is too strong a word.
I don't like that I was that stupid then.
I don't
to
like
do
it that I wrote them, but I'm okay with it. Like, I don't really mind. I don't have many regrets in life. I have like 2.
Not going down that slide.
Now, the first one, I'll say them both if I can remember them both, okay?
Okay, good thing you don't have a third.
Yeah. So the first one, we were at Dad's house, and he had just gone to the hospital because he got crazy glue in his eye. And, which is kind of silly. But
He's also, what was the other thing he got in his eye? Do you think that...
he got a habanero.
Yeah, what do you think was worse?
Probably the crazy glue.
Yeah.
But not as... The crazy glue probably wasn't as painful, but it's probably more dangerous.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so he just got into the hospital, and we were waiting for him to come back. And then your friend's mom came and picked us up and brought us to our mom's house.
Yeah.
And then our dad came home with pizza. That's why he was late, and so he wasn't there. I wish we had stayed.
Yeah.
So that's my first regret.
Yeah.
And
I was probably whining, though.
No, just she wouldn't let us stay.
Ah.
I think I could have, because I was like 10 or something, so I think I probably could have convinced her, but I
Should have phoned Dad.
we couldn't get a hold of him.
Ah.
We tried. Like, I tried to convince her, like, no, we're staying. No, you should come. No, we're staying. No,
Why
you should
did
come.
she
Fine.
show up even?
To pick up your friend.
Ah, okay.
But if I'd done it like 2 or 3 more times, she probably would have let us stay. I feel
Okay.
like I should have. So that's my one regret. And then the other...
One is jumping off a cliff.
No, I don't actually... That's all right. No. You know the movie The Game? This isn't exactly a regret, but it's one of the few things...
Watching it?
That makes me as sad. Yeah. I've never felt so sad from watching a movie as the scene where the former billionaire is in a truck stop and he says, I'm in Mexico, and he says, I'm looking for someone to drive me to Texas. I have $14.37. And I don't know why, but that scene makes me so sad.
There's a scene like that for me, actually.
It just, like, I just feel bad every time I think about it.
The scene for me is in the Arkham games.
Yeah.
When Joker dies.
Yeah.
Like, I regret seeing that scene. I wish I hadn't seen it. Because it just makes me feel so sad about... Like, Batman has the cure for him.
Yeah.
Like, Batman drank half it, has the other half for Joker.
Yeah.
Then Joker jumps on his back, stabs him with a knife, and he drops it. Then Joker realizes what he's done. He, like, goes down the ground. He's, like, trying to get something.
Oh, yeah, I hate that sort of thing.
And then he's like, he can't get it. He's like, oh, looks like I really screwed up this time. And then he just starts laughing, and he dies. And then Batman, like, picks him up and carries him outside and puts him down the hood of a police car. And then just sits there and starts crying. Like, Batman's crying. It's just
I hate that sort of desperate scramble sort of a thing.
Yeah, I just regret seeing that scene.
Yeah. But that wasn't my regret. But I wish I hadn't. I don't know. I wish that movie was different or something. It just stuck with me too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this...
Is that your regret watching the game?
No. No, it was...
Is it related to that?
No, I'm worried that someone will listen to this for the second regret, so I almost don't want to say it. I could be very vague.
Okay.
There was someone I kind of wanted to ask to prom, and I didn't. And the reason I didn't was really dumb, but that would be too much information. Because I can't say why it's too much information either. But
and then you gave me the advice: the person you want to ask for prom, ask them.
Yeah.
And so I did, and they already have a prom date.
Yeah.
With someone with my name.
Oh. You want to go to prom? Sorry, I'm going with Connor. But, what? Like the lamest turn down excuse ever. Yeah, so I'm already going with you. What? Yeah, I won't be able to make it. But, what? How?
Yeah.
No, not, but it's good you did. That you don't have that regret. Because I have 2 regrets, Connor. I used to have 3, I think, but I got rid of one time out. Oh yeah, 3rd regret. I can have a 3rd one.
Can you?
I want a 3rd one.
Okay.
Going to UVic's writing program.
No, sorry, that's your 4th regret.
Oh.
You can't have a 3rd one.
Okay, that's fine. Going to UVic's writing program. I think I mentioned this last episode.
You want to be a good author so you can say it's bad.
Yeah, that's my goal. I want Phoenix Point to come out so no more games get played. And I want to become a famous author so I can yell at you, Vic, for ruining my life.
This, if like books have acknowledgements, you have like an anti-acknowledgement. Like,
I considered doing that, actually. Is that bad? I
no.
was like, I'd like this book was made, no thanks to...
Or actually, no, maybe you could say, I'd like to acknowledge you, Vic, for inspiring me to write, so it's because they are so terrible. I wanted to prove that I could write regardless of what they taught me. Thus, I dropped out of the stupid course.
Actually, Alice Munro has that at the start of one of her books.
Really?
Yeah, she's considered one of the greatest Canadian authors. So,
Just, I don't know, it sounds a bit like...
that's for UBC. That's where I almost went.
Huh.
So maybe it's going to go to UBC either.
Yeah. There's this, like, famous piece of writing, which is someone's basically gotten really pissed at I don't know, like, publisher for rejecting his paper.
Yeah.
And he's saying, if you're too moronic to see it's good, then I might as well keep this from the rest of the world. And it's just like, he's saying, like, you are soulless people who do not have the intelligence to comprehend my piece of work. And if you are so idiotic, world might as well not have it. It's because of you that the best writing ever will never be exposed to this world. I am done. You are welcome for ruining the most beautiful thing ever. It's like, that's the basic writing.
Didn't I read to you something I wrote like that?
Yours is a little different.
Mine's pretty similar.
Yours isn't as conceited.
Mine seemed pretty conceited.
It is conceited.
But yeah, it was... Yeah, that's... So yeah, 3 regrets now. But yeah, everything else has just been circumstance and like accident. Even those are like accidents and whatnot, right? Like I learned from them.
Yeah.
So I wrote something once, which is that I'm not grateful for my suffering, but I'm grateful for the path that led me down. But,
Yeah. Well,
which
I had a thought a while ago, which is World War II sucked.
yeah,
But
it's deep.
if it had happened,
Yeah.
we probably wouldn't have been born.
Yeah. Well, no, if like anything hadn't happened, we wouldn't have been born. Like
I know, I say, like, you can't regret the past in some ways.
I've my friend,
Yeah.
he asked me, one of my friends
Yeah.
asked me a question. His name's Evan.
Yeah.
Very nice gentleman. Very intelligent, very tall.
Yeah.
And he asked me a question. If you could go back in time with all the knowledge you have now.
Yeah.
No, sorry. That's not how he asked it. That's how I asked it. But his question was, you go back in time to when you're like 8.
Yeah.
You're allowed to remember like one thing.
Mm-hmm.
What would it be? And how would you like change your life kind of thing?
Ah.
And I told him mine.
Yeah.
I said I wouldn't watch the game. No. No, mine was actually the prom thing.
Really?
Yeah. But because that's how good my life has been. Like, geez, that's pretty fortunate, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've had a lot of bad things, like depression and all this sort of stuff. But honestly,
You could go, don't eat gluten.
actually, now I might do something like that instead, now that I know. But, like, back then, that was what I said. This was, like, 5-6 years ago or something. But, yeah, like, there's a lot of stuff that I could have... But, honestly, I don't see another solution to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it was really hard. It was really painful, but I don't see another way. Kind of thing. So I said the problem. So
I have to think about what I would do.
and also, there's other things that could have been bigger, but who knows? Like, what if...
In all the regrets I've had in my life, I won't change any of it, not for a minute, because every minute has been beautiful. Where I've been alive.
It almost sounded like
I was paraphrasing a famous quote, actually.
yeah, it sounded like his name's Russell Bryan. No, he's a mathematician philosopher. Anyways,
Yeah, but I was paraphrasing.
Bertrand Russell.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe I was paraphrasing him. It's some quote where someone's saying I wanted to change any of it.
Yeah, no, I really like it actually. It's a little essay he wrote.
Yeah.
But I think it's Bertrand Russell. It's a name like that, anyways.
Your question.
Yeah, so it could have been something else, like, I don't know, it could like something really dark or something. Like, I had a friend who killed himself, right? I could, like, phone him before or whatever, the day before or something, but does that actually make a difference? That in the long run, who knows what the effects like?
Yeah.
I don't know, and that, yeah, it's not fun to think of. But it's like it could be something like that. But honestly, I don't know how much you can do if someone's depressed. Like a little thing won't really change it. I think maybe a lot of little things maybe, but you know, so. But I asked him anyways. Like, what would you change? Because I know he's had an insanely rough life actually.
Yeah.
But so, in some ways, like he used to make us like in elementary school. We'd be like, what? Like the craziest stories. Yeah, like he watched a kid's neck get broken during a wrestling tournament or something, and all this like, just these crazy things. And that's not the worst of them really, but still, like just these. I don't know what school he went to, like hell or something, but it was ridiculous. Anyways, he said he wouldn't change anything because he has no idea what the effects would be. So yeah, like you said, if World War II had happened, we wouldn't be born. It's like, at the same time, I don't know if you can think like that. I don't know. I think maybe some stuff is, and that's the thing about the prom thing, right? I don't think it would have changed my life. But I think it would have possibly made it slightly better. Just because it would be one less regret. It's not a big thing, but it's like a tiny thing where I'm pretty sure there's no negative effects. The biggest problem I can think of, right, is that the person would say yes. And then, where was that going? They would say yes, and that would make us in contact more and turn out we hate each other, and then we wouldn't be and then it would have just thrown everything off in a different course or something. But yeah, I still went.
Yeah, no.
I went to prom alone. I think. Did I go with? I think I went alone. Yeah.
I went to prom alone.
Yeah, loser. But yeah,
and then I had a lovely dance with a friend of mine when we were supposed to do the dance thing. Because like, dance with your date partner. And then he walked over to me, he's like, this event's ridiculous. I was like, oh, well, it's meant to be. He's like, no, it's ridiculous. And he's like, let's dance. And so we went out and danced. Because like we have the thing where it's like you dance with your grand march partner.
Yeah.
You dance with your parents and you dance with your date. And so the grand march partner is just some random guy I knew.
Yeah.
He was a pretty good guy. It's like, okay, dance with him. I was like, okay, what are we doing? Oh, let's just dance.
Yeah.
Then the dance with your date thing is just like, yeah, this is silly. It's like, there's at least 5 people who didn't have dates at our prom. This is just some, like, sort of, I don't know, like, oh, take pictures of them with their date. And then there's these 5 people standing off to the side.
Well, this is how small of a thing it is for me. The person I wanted to ask didn't spend the prom with their date. They hung out with me, so... I did. It's just...
So burn your date, burn!
No.
Oh!
It's just... The thing is, I just... It's coward... Wow, that's like Shaggy. It's coward... Yeah, that's the word. I hesitated because I wasn't sure if it's the right word. It's cowardly not to say what you want.
What you really, really want.
Yeah. Another regret is a friend of mine and I really drifted apart in grade 8 and had a locker beside him every day, and I could have just at any time been like, hey, you want to hang out sometime? Didn't. So that's another big one. But that's not I don't feel regret for that for some reason. And we're good now, so it's not a sad story. But it's just, it was kind of dumb of me. That's the other cowardly thing. But for some reason, the prom one sticks with me a bit more. Yeah. But the one that sticks with me most is that scene from the game. And the pizza thing. Yeah. The pizza thing is big. That's like the biggest one.
I honestly forget that until you mention it.
Yeah, it hurts. It still hurts me like every day. Well, not every day. It's like every couple weeks.
Alright, once a year, maybe.
No, it's every couple weeks.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just kind of go, oh yeah, oh.
You should reconcile that somehow.
Yeah. I don't think it's possible. I can't eat gluten anymore.
You can't eat anything.
No.
You are listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
It was something I wrote when I was tired. Because, okay, here's a great tip for you people out there.
Write something when you're tired, then try to comprehend it later.
No. Whenever you think of anything, write it down. you'd be amazed how much stuff you think about. It's just you forget it. It's incredibly easy to forget. You think of stuff that you're like, this is the best idea ever. I thought of it using logical steps. I'll think of it again. World's energy problems will be saved. And then you forget the next. Like, it's incredible.
Remember that one night when, like, we used to, like, have the same room and we'd, like, stay up and talk?
Yeah.
And we both had this most amazing thought ever. And we both expressed it. And then we forgot it.
No.
No?
No.
No. Okay. No, it was scary. Like, I remember we both had a very profound thought.
Yeah.
And we both agreed with it and talked about it. And then neither of us could remember, like, immediately, like, a few minutes after it, neither of us could remember it. And we, like, spent the next, like, day, like, what did we think about?
Oh, yeah, no, it's coming back to me a little bit, I think, yeah.
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 And it might not be the most profound thing, or maybe I'm even getting blockers now to make me think it was the most profound thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I remember what you're talking about a bit now.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how easily it is to forget any idea. So yeah, write them down. So this is what one I wrote down at night. And then the fun thing is, too, you sometimes don't remember that you wrote them. So I have this booklet here of stuff I've written down, and I just will flip through it and be like, why did I write this? What does this mean? So the thing I wrote is, and it's, write poems no one will ever read and burn them. So I think this statement is a lot darker than it first sounds.
Sounds really petty.
Yeah, but I think it's actually very dark. So imagine this, right? You write a poem. You edit it, you make sure it's good, like it's a really nice poem. Very complicated poem. Very deep, very long. No way you can memorize it. Like poems, it's very hard to keep all that in your head. You write this good poem.
Yeah.
It's good. And
it's good.
It's good. It's good poem.
Good.
Good poem. Yeah. And then you burn it and bury the ashes in a hole.
Yep.
Forget the poem. Never tell anyone you did it. Think about that image for a second.
Why would you do that?
Right. So, question is, did the poem exist?
And if it did you destroy it?
But so I'm like, did the poem ever even exist for step one? And then I like yours too. Did you destroy it? But
because you like maybe someone else would have written that poem, but now you've written it.
Well, no one else would have written it. But
I mean,
but if it was never shared, then there was nothing lost.
Or if it was never created, there's nothing lost.
Yeah.
But you destroyed it. You created it and then destroyed it.
Yeah, but then because no one knows the poem, it's like it was never created. So it's not. You didn't.
Well, it's the age-old question: if a tree falls in a forest and lands on a mime, does anyone care?
It's actually why I did this, why I wrote this, is it's the question, does life matter?
Oh.
If you die and you don't know yourself and no one remembers you, did you live?
I mean, if you really want to go forward, does life matter at all with the whole heat, deathly universe? And
yeah, if there's no one around to remember it, did it happen?
I think it happened for those who had it. It happened to them.
Okay, guess what? Did you know yesterday you went on the best roller coaster you've ever been on in your life, but you totally forgot it? Was it still fun? Are you happy you went on that ride?
Well, I've been terrified sometimes. Like, I know we talked about, like, not wanting to have the whole hidden destiny thing or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I've been terrified sometimes. Like, when someone's giving me a look like they know me or something and probably misplacing me.
Yeah.
Because, maybe I was transported to some fantasy realm.
Yeah.
And I saved the kingdom. But then I was forced back to Earth.
And you forgot.
And I forgot, yeah. So I forgot.
And they remember you.
And they remember me, and they're looking at me, but they're not, part of their duty is they're not allowed to approach me.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, it's like a very sad thing. And I've had that worry sometimes. And I think that's a bit of a delusional worry. But
yes, it's a complete delusion, yes.
But even with that statement, like, yes, it's a complete delusion. Like, you don't know. And it's a sad thought. Like, it's a sad thought that I don't remember going on the roller coaster.
Yeah. Or does it matter? Like, it feels very dark for some reason. Like, also, like, not... Like,
It's a sad thought not even being remembered.
Or just, did it matter? Or, because does your existence in the moment gave it meaning, sure, you could say, but in the long run, did it? And that's not, I mean, that's where nihilism springs from, but it's more, well, if no one knows about something, did it even exist? Which is I guess you're right, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? That is what that question is.
Yeah.
Like, there's like, well, that's a silly question, science, or like, oh yeah, that's kind of fun, but it's actually, did it happen?
Yeah. Like, we can come across a fallen tree.
Yeah.
And we can guess it.
I mean, it obviously happened.
Yeah.
But the question is, did it happen in italics?
Yeah. And I think it, I don't know, I've had a friend who has expressed that after he dies, he doesn't want an afterlife. Yeah. He doesn't want anything. He just wants to stop existing. Yeah. I can't comprehend that. Yeah. Because it's all I've ever done is existed.
Yeah, well, it's impossible to comprehend.
And so I feel like there has to be something more.
Well, there doesn't have to be. It's just impossible to comprehend.
Yeah. I can't comprehend, I guess. Yeah. That there isn't something more.
It's impossible to comprehend. But it doesn't mean it's impossible.
And so I feel like I have to say it does matter. Yeah. I feel like every moment matters. Yeah. That's my own personal thing. And maybe it's because I'm enlightened or something. Mm. Or just have an idea, or maybe my own personal belief. I feel like everything does matter. We're here and we're now, and this is the moment it's happening in. And so it matters right now.
But if the moment's gone, did the matter ever exist? Like,
well, that's just like next Tuesdayism.
Next Tuesdayism.
Or was it Thursday?
Last Thursday?
Yeah, last Thursday.
Where, like, the universe was created last Thursday?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, sort of. But it's like, if you never remembered. Also, can you imagine someone that wrote a poem and then, like, worked on it really hard and then just burnt it and buried it? Like, what kind of psychopath? Like, that's...
Yeah.
They'd have to be a part of psychopathsociety.tumblr.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I'd have to think on that a little more. It's like, it's one of those questions you spend a whole week locked up in a room pondering.
Yeah, and then, were you even in that room though? Maybe you already did that and doesn't matter.
And did this podcast even happen?
Or what if we were planning to delete the podcast because we got halfway through and then got stuck, right? Mm. So what if we had?
Yeah. Oh no, this has felt pretty good this last.
Yeah, but like, what if we had deleted it? Would it have? It wouldn't have. There would have been a next episode, and it would have gone on like it never existed, and then we would have slowly forgotten about it. Maybe we would totally forget about it, and then where did that time go? What would have happened? What if we forgot we deleted it? And where